This is video 2 of Heaven, My Vision. Let's look at the environment. The river of life will be used to refresh and restore us all, to give us the powers of heaven. Revelations 22:1, everything will be sterile, with no dust, dirt, debris, or anything unpleasant. There will be no unwelcome sounds. Revelations 21:27, no evil will exist, and no evildoers will be present. Revelations 21:8 and 27. There will be no sun or earth, no need for any. Now, it doesn't really say that sun will be gone or the moon will be gone. It just simply says there will be no need for them, because the Lord's glory will be the light of heaven. Revelations 21:23. There will be no night. It will become twilight, maybe, but no darkness. Revelations 21:25. Then it says, we will not drown in water, and water will have the substance of air. Trees of life will have 12 different types of grapefruit and leaves to eat and use to heal. It doesn't mean we'll need them to heal from diseases or anything. It probably means more that it will be a more spiritual healing and awakening than anything else. Remember I said in the first video there were 12 trees and fruit as we walk down the path? Then Revelations 22:2. So verse 2 is saying that the curse on humanity from the Garden of Eden has been undone for good. River transportation probably will be used a lot, but you will be able to move through areas quickly and effortlessly on foot. Now here might be a surprise. There'll be no churches, no doctrines, or separate religions. There will be a great temple where the Lord is, but it's not one that was enclosed like you go into the old temple of the Old Testament and the New Testament. And this is Revelations 21:22. Then what will we wear? We will all have fine linens, white, always clean. Doesn't mean we can't wear something else. No, we probably won't have any jeans, but I don't know that for a fact. Revelations 19:8 talks about what we'll wear. Then they stay clean and dry, even if we go into the water. Oh, they will dry immediately, no need to change. Of course, everything we wear will be very modest. Revelations 22:14. Then what about our knowledge? We will continue to learn from many sources. There'll be teachers and books to continue the growth. It seems to indicate that there will be children. And as you think about the people that come out of the millennium, and some of those might be children, they will need to be taught. Also, there are those who profess their faith in the Lord just prior to leaving the earth, will need to grow in the wisdom of the Lord. So, we can be teachers. Revelations 21:6 talks about that. Our earthly knowledge will be used to assist the Lord's work and to teach others. Revelations 22:3. There will be those who teach and will. I have been a teacher probably close to 39 years in my time here. The Lord willing, I will continue to teach for a long period of time more. Maybe He'll call on me to teach. Maybe I haven't done a good enough job. Maybe somebody else will do it. Those who can sing will teach others how to sing and will be part of the choirs of heaven. And I have been part of a choir for many, many years. I sing bass. I have, in the past, sung a solo or two. I have actually led choirs for a couple of years, but I don't pretend to be a soloist. I'm part of the choir. Those who can counsel will be used to help those who just made it to heaven. And many have some issues to prevent their growth, and they'll need to get through them. Again, not those who have been raptured, who come back with Jesus in Revelations 19:11. Remember, it says, all of the angels, robed in white, riding on white horses, will follow Jesus to the earth. That's us. We're living now. The ones we're talking about will have come through the tribulation and into the millennium. That's a fascinating story, and we've got some thoughts on that one in other videos. Well, those who have skills in building, making linens, or other such skills will be able to use these talents. Revelations 20:12. But there's so many things that professions will no longer be there. Unfortunately, if you were in life insurance, there'll be no need for life insurance. There'll be no need for detectives, policemen. No need for mortuaries or any of those kinds of things. Well, what about our activities? There will be education and sessions by the Lord. Revelations 21:9, there will be celebration, singing and dancing. Many will be able to play instruments, and there'll be music in many places most of the time. One of my things here on this earth that I regret is when I was probably in elementary school or junior high, I played the trumpet for a while. I gave it up. I took a class piano in college and music appreciation, which helped me to lead the choir for 2 years while I was in the Air Force. However, I gave that up as well, and I really regret that. Well, maybe I'll just learn how to do that all over again. There'll be talks by great earth pastors and leaders. We will be used to teach those who have just become Christians and the children, as I indicated before. There'll be those who will build the houses and do things that they did here on earth. There'll be people who may write books, manage books. There'll be colleges, schools, great literature halls, libraries, and vast auditoriums. Now, one of the things it says in Revelations is that they opened books and they were looking for whether your name was in the book of life. And then it says it opened other books. So there'll be books in heaven. And we will sing praises, maybe have some hymnals. Maybe we'll just learn them and know them by heart. But we're going to learn from Him being God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. All three will be there. Revelations 19:1, we will have supper with the Lord. Revelations 19:17, the Lord will give us missions based on our rewards earned on earth and are in development in heaven. Daniel 12:3 talks about we will be able to socialize with family and friends, as well as it does in Revelations. And we'll have separate face-to-face meetings with the Lord. Yeah, think about that one. In summary of our activities, we will continue to be used to do the things we have learned and are good at here on earth. Doesn't mean we're not going to learn many other things to be good at, but that's just one of the things. Then let's talk about the cities, the forest, and the parks. Well, I've already talked to you about what the size of Jerusalem will be, the New Jerusalem. Revelations 21:16. That city would stretch from the east coast to the Mississippi River, from the Canadian border to the Gulf of Mexico. And it would be many times higher than any plane has ever gone. Well, not necessarily any of our trips to the moon or other things in space. Don't know how that's measured. But that's huge when you think about it. Angels measured this city and the gates and the walls surrounding by the city. So we know this is accurate. The city will have 12 gates made of pearl. The walls will be made of jasper and precious stones for the foundation. It will be pure gold. There'll be a great temple where the Lord resides, outside of that city. There'll be many forests with nothing that will scare anyone, not contain any danger at all. And most of those are outside. Well, they probably all will be. And they figure that the city will be for housing and people. There will also be an area of great joy and recreation. There'll be many parks and walks and drives and fountains, small lakes, shaded seats with music being played. There'll be no buildings or dwellings in that park. There'll be many open temples. Open, not temples for worshiping or churches, with seating for hundreds, if not thousands of people. Now, I said before, the great temple probably will be outside the Great Jerusalem. We're not really sure about that one, but there's all indications that if it is in the city of Jerusalem, that he will also have a place where he will be outside as well. Because it will just not be just the city of Jerusalem. Remember, this is the whole new earth, and it will be huge. Well, what will we know about earth and people still there? Well, the Lord in individual meetings will let us know the things we need to know when we need to know them. And this is, of course, until the end of the millennium. And at that point, of course, the new heaven and new earth, there's no other earth and people. Revelations 22:5 will not be able to see all things on earth when we are in present heaven even. We will not know what happens to those that come to heaven based on having no pain or suffering. It would seem that we would have no memory of those who do not accept the Lord, probably even after the millennium for all of eternity. But to make sure that you understood my point here, when we're in present heaven, and this is before the Lord comes second time, we probably are not going to know what's going on in the earth and the people who are still there. Because it is said that the angels come and tell the people in present heaven what's going on, and the people rejoice. They didn't know it before. There's some things around that in the mystery we're not really sure. Well, changes will come. After the resurrection, the second resurrection, the Bible seems to be saying everything will change. Revelations 20:11. Another earth will surface, as I've been talking about. Another heaven will replace the ones that now exist. Now, here is a really major point. At no point after the Garden of Eden are we privileged to know that God is here with us. Even all the time that Moses was traveling around in the wilderness, God would show up. He would be hidden on a cloud, and he makes his presence known to us or to them. But he wasn't really dwelling on earth. He was dwelling on earth back in the Garden of Eden because he had communications with Adam and Eve. Remember after they sinned? God said to Adam and Eve, "Why are you hiding?" They didn't know they had any clothes on or why they didn't. But God knew, and he was there. Well, when the new heaven and earth comes, not only will Jesus be there, not only will the Holy Spirit be there, but now God will come and dwell. Maybe we'll see his face. It didn't say that per se, but we're going to see him. It seems that we will take on superpowers, many just as Jesus had. They're probably not nearly as powerful. We would expect that. And then we're being prepared to use them for the good of everything there and for Jesus and for an eternity with God. Well, the lasting lesson in this video comes from Luke 16:9, and then, of course, from Daniel 12:3. First of all, Luke 16:9. Make to yourself friends of the mammon, of the unrighteousness, that we will fail, that many receive you into everlasting habitations. This means that we are to win souls to Christ and make friends of all types of people for eternity and meet them as they enter into heaven. Then Daniel 12:3 says, and they that will be wise shall shine on the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. This means that we will be given rewards in heaven on many levels. There's a indication that we'll be getting 5 crowns of rewards. I'll go into that in another video. So it's a positive message to be good as we can, evidence of salvation and authority, and witness to as many souls as we can. And don't confuse being many as good as you can, but you can earn your way into heaven. You can't. There's only one way, and that's through Jesus our Savior. Well, my studies of Revelations first comes from the Bible. Several books that I've read, and of course many of the scholars, including Billy Graham, Charles Dyer, Tim LaHaye, Hal Lindsey, and author of Revelations. God's work on the biblically inept, Damon Duck, and many from a marvelous pastor here, Dr. Reverend David Jeremiah. Now, remember, I am not saying that the Bible states this vision explicitly, only that as we read between the lines of what is said and what the sources have come up with, gives us my vision of heaven. Thank you for watching.